For the most part, after returning from visiting the WSOP at the Horseshoe, a good majority of the hands I played went very similar to this next one. Some player limps in this case it's the Under the Gun 2 player, and then I invent a hand decent enough to isolate him with. In this case, it's Queen 9 suited from the low jack. In this particular hand, the only caller is the original limper, so we're heads up. Jack 5-4, 2 spades. The original limper checks, and as you can clearly see, I have this board totally covered. It's my dream board actually, because eliminating those 3 cards from the deck just makes the likelihood that a queen or a 9 will hit the turn that much higher. I continue for about 2/3 pot on this texture, and the opponent just folds. This happened a lot. Yeah, occasionally I'd get caught, or some other player would jump in pre-flop spoiling my isolation, but more often than not, pots were just won without showdown. Hell, without even a turn card. The next hand begins with not 1, but 2 people attempting to limp into this pot. Silly. Holding ace-queen from the small blind and currently with an image that I'm just all over the place betting stuff, I raised to $70. I expect to get some resistance from both of them, however only the original limping hijack calls. I'm not sure what the range is that overlimps the button then folds getting almost 3-1, 200 big blinds deep, but whatever. Of the 2 villains, it was the button I wanted to continue more than the hijack, as the button may battle and then spew it off. The hijack, well, I'm only getting action if he happens to connect. Deuce, Jack, Deuce with 2 hearts. And here's where I butchered this hand badly. I'm often just leading here, but this time I decide to mix in a check. If he has anything, he'll most likely bet. He checks behind. Turn, Queen of Hearts. Interesting turn here. I almost always have the best hand now, even if I didn't on the flop. I check again knowing that he's just going to overfold to bets, which is honestly why I should have bet the flop. Now my only hope in building this pot is for him to bet at some point. He disappoints. The river 10 of clubs falls, and now I'm in this strange spot where he's just going to fold if I put $1 into this pot. So I check again, and disappointingly, he checks it back. And I obviously win the hand even though I butchered this one in the worst way.
Absolutely no way that Rampage can know how strong. Hands all in! All in from Rampage!
You know, I've been thinking a lot about it, and I've decided that when I grow up, I'm just going to bet and shove and bet and shove and not do the check, check, check. I'm going to win all the money and trophies and jewels. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be a pussy like you.
Ethan! What did you just say?
Every time I have monsters, you guys just know, you know? Hours ago, the player in the 6th seat introduced himself and said he was a fan of the vlog. That's always great to hear. But as the session progressed, and the way the cards fell, he and I just happened to never be in a pot together. We'll play this one. Okay. All right, this one right here. I said that we can play the next hand, and he countered by saying that we should play the hand after, when he's on the button. Of course, I obliged.
Let me make you like I'm on the button.
Uh-huh. All right, next one. Now you're going to get aces here. That's going to be your punishment.
I don't know if I want to get aces against you after what I've seen earlier.
The next hand is dealt, and I look down at 10-3 offsuit. Good. I fold. That hand doesn't matter anyway. It's this next hand that we've agreed to play versus each other. Let's hope I get something good. All right, this is the one, right?
Give me 2 spades.
All right, okay.
King, give me a chance. I'm going to try really hard.
Uh-huh. All right, you're going to try. All right. Let's see. How good do I run? How good do I run? From the under the gun 2 position, I open at $30.
Raise.
The button calls as expected, and unexpectedly, the big blind gets in there as well. 3 players. Juno always in the way.
3 players.
Ace, queen, 8, rainbow. The big blind checks. It can never just be easy, can it? There always has to be that damn ace, doesn't there? The likelihood that the button, playing 2 random cards, has an ace is relatively low. The likelihood that the big blind, that has heard our entire conversation about playing this hand and still has elected to join the soiree, has an ace, is much higher. I check, and the button checks behind. The turn 3 of hearts is of minimal importance. The big blind checks again. Well, I can't check anymore. I slide $40 into the middle, and the main target of this hand, the button, he folds. The big blind wants to see more. He calls the $40. In my head, I'm cursing that damn ace, until the river ace of spades appears, and the big blind checks for a 3rd time. Oh, really? There's 0 chance he has an ace now. He's not that cagey. So now I need to find an amount that will get value from purely a queen. I settle on $80, and he quickly calls. I then show him the bad news, and just as quickly, his hand hits the muck. You want to play another one? I played a sizable pot with pocket kings that I didn't get recorded, where I folded flop and still lost about $500. But other than that, not much happened as this session was winding down. There was a lot of raise and take it type hands, and a missed draw or 2, and that's about it. After another couple of hours, I just decided to rack up and head home. Okay, so here's the problem. Session's over. I left up like $1,200 or so. I just kind of bled off a little bit after going to the World Series of Poker. No big deal. The problem is it's cold as hell in the casino, and it is blazing hot out here, and for some reason I always forget to take my hoodie off. So we got to end this so I can get this thing off. Okay, hoodie's off, much better. But actually, I don't have anything else to say about the session. I cracked aces with kings. I lost jacks versus queens. I made a fold with pocket kings that I don't know if I got recorded, so you might not see it. And then other than that, I just kept missing things towards the last half of the session, or I just didn't have anything to play. So in the game for $2,000, out for 32, 33, something like that. But my car's here, time to go. Thank you. If you like the vlogs, and subscribe. and comment, and I'll catch you next time. God, it's hot.